In hindsight, these mistakes are easy to laugh at. But in Ptolemy's time, his map wasn't just respected, it was revolutionary. It offered a structured mathematical approach to geography, one that assigned latitudes and longitudes to every location. For over 1,000 years, it stood as the gold standard of human knowledge on the physical world. Arabian and European scholars revered Ptolemy's work as a triumph of intellect. It wasn't merely a collection of lines and symbols, it was an expression of humanity's unyielding ambition to understand the world. Did you know that one of the most famous maps in history, the one that shaped humanity's perspective of the Earth for more than a millennium, was riddled with breathtakingly wrong information? Yet, despite its flaws, this map changed the course of human history. This is the story of the Ptolemaic map, a masterpiece born of genius and error, and how its inaccuracies charted a path to exploration, discovery, and progress. Our journey begins in the 2nd century CE in Alexandria, a city synonymous with knowledge and enlightenment. It was here that Claudius Ptolemy, a mathematician, astronomer, and geographer, lived and worked. In an age without telescopes, satellites, or sophisticated navigation tools, Ptolemy undertook an audacious task: to map the world as humanity knew it. He pored over the accounts of merchants, explorers, and historians, compiling information from the farthest reaches of the known world. Using mathematics, geographic coordinates, and a dash of imagination, he pieced together a vision of Earth that aimed to synthesize everything humankind understood about geography. But here's the twist. Ptolemy lived in a world of estimations, hearsay, and fragmented data. With no way to verify the precise locations of continents, oceans, or landmarks, his masterpiece was doomed to be riddled with inaccuracies. Let's start with the basics. Ptolemy's map vastly distorted the sizes of continents. It stretched Asia to colossal proportions, compressing Europe and Africa in the process. India was twisted out of shape while the Mediterranean was far too large. But the most glaring error was this: Ptolemy depicted the Indian Ocean as a closed sea, sealed off entirely by a landmass stretching beneath Africa and Asia. According to his worldview, there was no way to sail around Africa to the Indian Ocean, an assumption that kept countless sailors bound to the Mediterranean and nearby seas for centuries. In hindsight, these mistakes are easy to laugh at. But in Ptolemy's time, his map wasn't just respected, it was revolutionary. It offered a structured mathematical approach to geography, one that assigned latitudes and longitudes to every location. For over 1,000 years, it stood as the gold standard of human knowledge on the physical world. Arabian and European scholars revered Ptolemy's work as a triumph of intellect. It wasn't merely a collection of lines and symbols, it was an expression of humanity's unyielding ambition to understand the world. Then came the age of exploration, a time when courageous sailors would challenge the boundaries of Ptolemy's world. By the 15th century, the winds of change had started to blow. Explorers pushed farther into uncharted waters, determined to test the constraints of ancient geography. In 1488, Bartolomeu Dias circumnavigated the Cape of Good Hope, proving that the Indian Ocean wasn't closed but open, vast, and connected to the Atlantic by sea. With this discovery, the curtain finally began to close on the Ptolemaic worldview. But here's the irony. Even as Ptolemy's map began to crumble under the weight of new discoveries, its influence lingered, shaping the decisions of explorers in profound, sometimes unexpected ways. Take Christopher Columbus, for example. In 1492, he set out on his now legendary voyage across the Atlantic, largely because he underestimated the size of the Earth. He believed Asia lay much closer to Europe than it actually did, a misconception rooted in Ptolemy's geographic framework. Fueled by this flawed understanding, Columbus embarked on a mission to reach India by heading west. Instead, he stumbled upon the Americas, unleashing a wave of global exploration that would forever redefine the trajectory of human history. So let's pause and reflect. Ptolemy got plenty wrong, but his map wasn't just a collection of errors, it was an inspiration. By offering a flawed but bold vision of the world, it spurred generations to question, challenge, and expand their understanding. Even mistakes, it seems, can pave the way for progress. The story of the Ptolemaic map is more than just a tale of cartographic errors. It's a reminder that human curiosity is unstoppable. We reach, we explore, we theorize, Even if we're wrong, spectacularly wrong, and sometimes it's the very act of getting things wrong that pushes us closer to the truth. So the next time you gaze at a map, remember this. It's not just an arrangement of continents and oceans. It's an expression of humanity's boundless drive to understand the unknown, flaws and all. Nearly 2,000 years ago, Ptolemy tried to chart the Earth with the tools at his disposal, a feat that was gloriously imperfect yet profoundly influential. His mistakes may have distorted the view of our planet, but they also lit the fire of exploration. And that, in itself, is extraordinary.